Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to look at a foundational topic. You might ask, what does that mean? Today we're going to look at the fundamentals of accommodation. So if you're interested in traveling, living and teaching abroad, we ask you to stay tuned, hit the like button and subscribe. Here at Teacher Tainer, we look at exciting topics from teachers and people that work and live abroad, specifically in Vietnam. So today we're going to look at accommodation. Now, where do I start? I'll start in 2016 when I arrived in Vietnam, and what accommodation did I utilize then? So when myself, and a friend of mine arrived here in 2016, we looked at our first means of accommodation, which is couch surfing. So what is couch surfing? So couch surfing, ladies and gentlemen, is when you ask a family to actually give you a roof over your head. You will stay with the family for a short span of time, right? It could be either be a family or it will be one person that will offer their couch on a specific website, right? I do recommend that you see that it's a valid website, right, for you to couch surf, because you have to do it at your own means, and you need to do it also taking safety into consideration. So our first means of accommodation was couch surfing. So we lived in a place called District 9 in Ho Chi Minh City, and there our couch surfing considered us we had to teach students English. For us to have a place to stay. We stayed there for 2 weeks. We paid no rent. That's the plus side when it comes to accommodation and when it comes to couch surfing accommodation, right? So we had to work for our means of accommodation, and that considered us teaching every day, right? I loved it because it got us also to touch the ground when it comes to teaching and to break the ice in that industry. And it lasted, as I said, for 2 weeks, and it played out its benefit. The negative side when it comes to couch surfing, I'll say, is the safety part, right? I do recommend, if you're going to couch surf, ladies and gentlemen, that you do it in a team, right? You do it with a friend. Either there will be 3 or 4 of you guys and you'll couch surf. Why? Because you need to remember that you are in a foreign country, you're in a foreign town, and you're in a foreign family, right? And a foreign language that's used around you. So you need to take safety into consideration. Especially if you're a female, I do recommend that you couch surf with a group of friends. So as we said, the benefits of couch surfing is it's very cheap. The negative side is that you got to take safety into consideration. So what happened after a year of us getting into our feet? We moved into our second means of accommodation that I would like to talk about now, which is cheap accommodation. So cheap accommodation is when you rent out a 2 or 1 bedroom apartment, right, which will cost you about plus minus 4 to 6 million Vietnamese dong, which is plus minus $180 to $220, right? And to put that in rands, because we're looking at my South African audience, to put that in rand, that will be plus minus 1,800 to 2,500 rand. Again, depending on what kind of apartment do you get, right? How cheap are you going to go? So, ladies and gentlemen, the best thing about these kinds of apartments is that they're very cheap. But the sad thing about this kind of accommodation, that it will be always outside the city, right? So it makes going to work, commuting to work, it makes it a bit of a long, it takes a long duration going to work, and also you get stuck into more traffic jams, So I do recommend this when you're getting up to your feet when it comes to this kind of accommodation, 1 or 2 bedroom apartment outside the city, and you budget it to a point where you're going to be, saving some cash at the end of the month. And then when it comes to our third means of accommodation, this is when you're looking at living inside the city. When you're living inside the city, you're looking at maybe a 1 or 2 bedroom or even a 3 bedroom apartment. This will range again depending on how luxury you're going to go with your budget, right? Yeah, you could spend about $400 to $600, right, or even $800, depending again on your state of luxury when it comes to your apartment. So this will be plus minus 9 to 12 or 14,000 rand per month. The benefits about this is living inside the city. You know, your apartments most of the time will have a gym downstairs, they'll have a mall downstairs, they'll have a shopping center downstairs, right? When it comes to work will be very close by. It will be maybe a 5 or 2 minutes drive because it's within the city. And also there'll be more things to do for when it comes to entertainment, right? So ladies and gentlemen, that's accommodation, right? Again, it depends on you. If you're going to make the move and come to Vietnam, I do recommend that you look at our description. There's a link in below, and we ask you to take a look at CBT Agency. There they do support you when it comes to accommodation, when it comes to making the move from your native country right to Vietnam. They also help you with accommodation to see which one will suit your budget. Which one would you like to start with? Because let's take into consideration, once you make the move to a new country, everything will start slow. So even work will start slow, your income will start slow. So accommodation, you'll start at a lower level and you'll build yourself to the accommodation that you want in the future. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you for your time. I hope I answered some questions when it comes to accommodation, teaching and living abroad here in Vietnam. And for those that are interested, again, just check out our description. There's a link in below and we will definitely answer more questions. And hit us up in the comments if you guys have more questions. So guys, thank you for your time. Hope to catch you guys on the next episode. Signing out.